Alright, so let's take a look at chapter 1, and it's about introduction to statistics. On chapter 1, we're mainly talking about all the important fundamental concepts or terminologies in statistics. Alright, so first of all, you guys probably see a lot of polls, studies, surveys, and other data collecting tools. Polls and then surveys are most popular ones. Studies for those professionals in different fields, they use studies to get a result, to come up with a certain conclusion about that particular study. Alright, so all those typical tools are used to collect data. So this is very important, collecting data from a smaller part of the larger group, so you can learn something about a larger group. So here, larger group is what we call a population. It's the population. Smaller group is what we call a sample. And smaller group come from a larger group. And this is very common, important goal of statistics. So basically, you learn about a larger group, we call that population, by using a smaller group, which is a sample. By examining the data from some of these members. Some of these members, it will be a subset of the population, and we call this a sample. So basically, you're using use the smaller group to make the prediction about a larger group, to make the prediction of the larger group. And that's most fundamental, objective of the statistics. And the term sample and population, so sample come from population. Sample is a subset of the population. Comes from the population. Yeah. And we're gonna take a look at different ways of describing the data. Different ways of classifying data in a bit. Okay, so first of all, data. Data is a collection of observations such as measurement, genders, survey responses. And so the data could be numerical, non-numerical. Numerical data. Like measurement must be numerical, right? And it could be non-numerical. And typically we call it categorical if it's non-numerical data, like gender and survey responses. Okay. So data is the most fundamental element in statistics. So you always start with the data, collecting data, come up with a data set, and then we go from there. So statistics is applied science of planning studies, experiments, obtaining data, and organizing, summarizing, presenting, analyzing, interpreting, and then drawing conclusion based on data. So you basically collect the data, summarize the data, organize the data, and then analyze the data, and then use the data to come up with a conclusion about the entire population. That's the essential goal of the statistics. And population is a complete collection of all measurement of the data that being considered. So population includes every single member, right? Includes every single member of the population. Every single member. census is the way of collecting the data from every member of the population. U.S. Census Bureau usually will conduct the census. Conduct a survey to collect the data from every single member of the U.S. citizen. Conduct a survey to collect data from all U.S. citizens. And this is very typical census. As you know, it costs a lot of money, and then human powers, money, resources, so it costs a lot to conduct successful census. And sample is a sub-collection of the members selected from population. So you can also say that sample is a subset, of the population. Sample come from the population. Sample is a subset of the population. Okay, so then let's take a look at this example. So Gallup Corporation collected data from 1,013 adults in the United States. Results show that 66% of the respondents worry about identity theft. So right here, this U.S. Adults should be about 241 million for 72,385 adults in the U.S. Okay, and this 1,013 definitely is a subset of all the adults in the United States. So this is a typical sample. So our sample consists of 1,013 surveyed adults, and 66% will be we call this sample statistics, right? So the objective is to use the sample data as a basis for drawing a conclusion about the entire population. So if this is a good sample, which is a good representative of the population, we could say that generalized to the entire population, 66% of the respondents, right? 66% of the adults in the United States worry about identity theft. So some agency could possibly publish this in a newspaper or some other, like magazines, as characteristics of about the population. Right? Okay.